Hey everyone, welcome back to Day in Brelandia. My name is Brianna, and on this channel I plan on doing all sorts of fun things. Like, this is going to be our first year of homeschooling, so I want to take you along for that journey, as well as other things that I love doing, like cooking, baking, gardening, fitness, all sorts of things that I want to do for this channel. And so if any of that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you can be alerted anytime I upload a new video. This video, however, is going to be a second part to what you should know before you start your fitness journey series. And if you haven't seen the first video, go ahead and check it out. I'm going to link it down below so you can go see it, and I want you to watch that one first. So if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out first. It's actually pretty funny because it's a mom life video for sure. But it also has a really important message to it too, and it's going to help you get in the right mindset for the rest of these videos that I want to share with you. So check that one out first and then come back and watch this one. Alright, now that you've checked that video out, this one is going to be exercise. And I know so many of you might be like dreading this and rolling your eyes and just like, but I don't want to exercise. But are you not wanting to exercise because of how the world tells you should view exercise? Or have you tried it and you just don't like it? And have you given it a good try? And I mean like 6 months at least before you decided you don't like it and it just frustrates you. Because if you haven't given it the right amount of time, you might not realize if you don't like it or not. So make sure you're giving it a good try and putting your effort in towards it before you decide if you don't like it or not. Because honestly, at first, it's gonna suck. Pretty much no matter what you do, you're gonna be sore afterwards. It's gonna suck. But once you get past that first phase, and do it in a healthy manner. Like, don't try to push yourself too hard during that first beginning time period. You want to take things slowly and go through that first phase. And once you get through that first phase, it's gonna get better. That's why I say 6 months, because it's gonna suck at first because you're gonna be in pain and you're not gonna want to work out when you're sore, but it will get better. Trust me. And so give it some time before you really decide if you hate it or not. And if you do decide you hate it or not, good news for you. The most important thing when it comes to exercise is that you just want to do something that you have fun with and that keeps you excited and keeps you wanting to come back for more. So if you don't like traditional exercise, you can find something else that you love that gets your body moving, because our bodies were made to move, and it's so important that we move them in order to stay or be healthy. And so we need to move our bodies. And if that means that you're playing a game of Twister with your kids, or you're playing on the playground with your kids, if you're gardening or cleaning your house, all those things can get your body moving. So just do it in a manner that is gonna keep you moving in the best way you can, and doing it in, hold on, I'm gonna pause this real quick, even though it's not gonna be paused for you, but I'm gonna go get my favorite thing real quick. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Having said all that, it just kind of sparked it's actually my favorite Bible verse. Technically it's Bible verses since it's more than one, but here's your attitude how your attitude towards fitness should be. And this is why it's my favorite Bible verse. And I'm going to share this in a motivation video thing later on down, but this is what I go to when I'm feeling so unmotivated to go to the gym or to go work out. So it's 1 Corinthians 9:24 through 27. It says, "Do you not know that in a race that all runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way to get a prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and I make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified to win the prize. So that just shows you. I even have it bookmarked twice in here because it is my favorite verse. It gets me motivated. And even if traditional exercise isn't what is something that keeps you motivated, you should have that attitude towards whatever you do find enjoyable and you do have fun with doing that gets your body moving. Do it in a way that you are giving it your all still, even though it may just be a game of Twister with your kids. But you can be a bad mamma jamma getting down with that Twister. So give it your all and push yourself to do your best, but have fun doing it. That's so important and the most important part. The next most important part is to have patience. Yes, there are so many programs out there that promise you instant results, like lose 10 pounds in 7 days. But that's not realistic, and that's not going to be healthy long term, and it's not going to be maintainable long term. So you're going to need to slow your roll, have patience, and go in a way of doing things the right way, letting your body rest when it needs to rest, and having the patience to get through it. For example, I did not really see physical results until after having my babies. I didn't see physical results in my body changing really until I was about 1 year postpartum. And it got frustrating. And there were times that I wanted to give up. That's where that verse came in handy. But I knew I needed to trust the process, and I knew I needed to do it the right way. And guess what? In a year's time, I did start seeing results. And when you do start seeing results, that's going to motivate you even more. And it's going to get really exciting when you do start seeing them. But it's going to take time. And in fact, the healthy weight loss range is a healthy weight loss is around 0.5 to 1 pound per week. And even then, that's not necessarily something you should focus on because muscle is more dense than fat. And so you may be seeing results and the scale is not going to change at all because guess what? You built muscle. Or maybe you're about to be on your period and you're bloated. And so the scale is not necessarily you should focus on. You need to focus on your overall feeling on the inside, and you're going to start seeing those changes on the outside. It's just going to take time, and you need to have the patience to do that. Now, so many people, when they come to me, or just what I hear in general on like fitness, fitness, like Facebook groups and things like that, are, I want to get lean and tone. Well, okay. You're going to kind of have to get to a point where you pick. Although one of the things to keep in mind is that cardio, yes, it burns quite a bit of calories while you're doing it, but once it stops, it stops. And with weightlifting and strength training and things like that, your body is still actively burning that calories because you're in a recovery phase. And so it's going to burn more calories in the long run. And so that's something to keep in mind if you are wanting to lose that fat, but keep in mind that might not necessarily fluctuate your weight because you are building that muscle and things like that. But you also need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose that fat, and then a calorie surplus to gain that muscle. And you might just be like, that is so confusing, I don't understand. And so the best thing I can do, and I'm going to talk more about food and nutrition and things like that and about calories in the next video, but the best thing to do is just to listen to your body and go with what you enjoy doing the most And that's why it's so important to find something that you have fun doing, and just listen to your body and what your body needs, and like really take time to practice listening to your body about what your body's telling you. Like if you're hungry, eat. If you are needing a rest day and it's not a planned rest day, take a rest day. Just all sorts of things. Listen to your body, have patience, and have fun. Now, with weightlifting, so many women are so scared to weightlift because they think it's going to make themselves bulky, but it's not. You have to take some steroids in order to make yourself get that bulky look. Women just don't naturally have enough testosterone to get that overall bulky appearance. And so, I mean, I guess if you do have some like hormonal imbalance and you do have extra amount of testosterone, maybe that might make you bulky, but that's also something you should be working with your doctor on. And so just know it's not a natural thing for women to appear bulky. So don't be scared of lifting weights. It's so good and feels so awesome to get strong. And yes, I can grow some muscle, but the muscle that I do grow, it's kind of hard to grow because I am a woman and I don't take steroids. And so just keep that in mind. You're not going to get that bulky look. And the women that do have that overall like super masculine Olympia size body, they're more than likely taking steroids. So don't worry about getting to a manly. You can still look feminine and sexy, but have that muscular, curvy, lean and toned body that you want by working on building muscle. Now, for muscle building, and this is also going to incorporate why it's so important to rest, because when you're doing some cardio, you are engaging some muscles, and so you are going to, even cardio days, you need to take a rest from. So this is going to be your bicep. Say you had a pull day. So when you're activating that muscle, you're tearing muscle fibers. I know it sounds painful, and sometimes that recovery is a little bit painful, but it's not always going to be painful, and your body will eventually get used to doing this kind of stuff. But at first, it will be a little bit painful. I'm going to be honest with you. But in order to take a proper rest from that, so this is a bicep. We did a pull day where we worked our bicep, and so we broke these muscle fibers. Now we need to take at least 2 days off from doing our biceps again. The recommended is 2 to 3 days off before reworking that muscle group. Now that doesn't necessarily mean we need to take 2 to 3 days off completely from working out. No, that just means from your biceps. So if you did your biceps one day, you can go ahead and do like a push day where you're getting your triceps the next day, or your back muscles, or even doing a leg day, something like that. And while you're letting this muscle group recover, and so when you allow that rest, you're allowing your muscle to build over. And then after that 2 to 3 days of rest, you can go ahead and rework it, allow that rest again, and it's going to keep building over, and then you got yourself a beautiful little bicep there. And it looks so nice and pretty. Now what happens if you don't rest? You work your bicep. Actually, to make this more relatable, because I've seen this for sure on Pinterest, I don't think I've seen like bicep challenges, but there's like those squat challenges on Pinterest where you work, you do squats every day for the whole month. And so let's say you do that and you're squatting and you squat some more, and the next day you squat some more, and you keep reworking that same muscle group. Or even if you're like a runner and you continuously push your body so hard every day running, you're going to be creating the same damage. And so yes, it's a little bit different when you are running, and you don't necessarily have to like run and then take a rest day and then run and take a rest day. but it's a little different. But you don't want to constantly be pushing your body so hard every day. Like, say you want to run a marathon, you're not going to run a marathon every day. You're going to like ease into it, and you're going to maybe start with 1 mile and then go to 3 miles, and and then you're going to take a break from that before you go more, and you're going to constantly be pulling back before you go further. And so if you don't take those rest days, your muscles are going to get shot, and then they're going to break, and then you're going to actually need way more than 2 to 3 rest days. You're going to need like a rest month or months, whatever it is. You're going to need to take the time off, and you're going to be in so much pain. It's going to hurt so bad. You're going to need to take so much rest that you're going to have to start all over again when you do go back into it. So it's so important to make sure you're taking that rest. And then speaking of rest days, so for example, you have like your workout split. And so for that, I'm going to try to write backwards here. So for me, example, I like to start my days off or my weeks off with a leg day. And so for a Monday, I'm going to do a leg day. And then I'm going to do an upper body day. And then I'm going to do a cardio day. And then I will go back to doing a leg day, and so on. And then what works out for me is usually I take Saturday and Sunday off. Now, not everybody likes taking 2 rest days off in a row, but Saturday I usually have it be like an active cardio day, or not active cardio, an active rest day. And then on Sundays it's just a complete total rest. And now it's okay to have those active rest days where you're not necessarily working out, but you're not necessarily like just totally resting. And so those are considered active rest days. So like my active rest days, I'm usually like cleaning the house or working in the garden, things like that, something that gives me that active rest. And some people even count their cardio as their active rest day. I don't necessarily do that, because on my cardio days I at least try to push myself in cardio. It's not one of my favorite things to do, but I do like to try to get at least 3 miles or more on my cardio days, and I'm pushing myself, even though it's not my favorite. I'm more of a weightlifting type of girl. That's what I find enjoyable and have fun with doing. Running more than 3 miles just doesn't seem like fun to me. So that's how I do mine. And the reason why I take like Saturday and Sunday off, it's when my husband is home and we can do things as a family with my kids. And so and then on Sundays I like just having a full rest day. We usually binge watch a TV show, and we go to church, we come home, we eat lunch, and then we kind of like just be lazy the rest of the day. And that's what I find enjoyable and fun. And I'm sorry if the lighting just all of a sudden got bad. The sun is starting to come out. It was raining all morning, and now the sun's coming out, so the lighting is just getting affected a little bit. But we're gonna go forward with all of this. And so that's why it's important to have a rest day. You want to make sure your body is functioning at its best level. You don't want to push it too hard, and you don't want to under push it as well. So incorporating rest days into your schedule, whatever works. I know some days or some weeks for me, if I'm working hard at the very beginning of the week, by Thursday I might actually need to take a rest day, and I'm gonna have to listen to my body and take that rest day. But then on that Saturday I might end up being a little bit more active. But Sunday is the day of rest, man. We for sure take Sundays as rest day. And it's not even just because like Sunday's the day of rest. It's the day that I'm tired and I just want to recuperate before the week begins again. And so that's that. Now, another great benefit to running even and weightlifting and things like that is, because those are higher impact, is that they also strengthen your bones. It will increase your bone density by doing those higher impact things. Because, so this is going to represent your bone now, and this is your joint. we'll switch up the colors a little bit here. So blue is going to be your ligaments, tendons, things like that. That helps connect that muscle tissue to your bones. And so this is a muscle. And so when you are breaking up that muscle, it's also pulling on those ligaments. That is pulling on your bones. And same with the higher impact, it's like hitting those bones. And in some ways, this is when that rest day comes in handy, because sometimes like runners don't take the necessarily rest, and so they end up injuring their bones and their joints. Like my husband has a really bad hip. Just don't tell him I told you that. And but yeah, it'll end up strengthening your bones. And I actually got arthritis in my knees after having my daughter, and exercising has improved that, and I don't notice any pain when I'm being active. Although whenever I'm not being as active or able to lift as heavy or being able to do those higher impacts like during quarantine, because even though I'm still trying to stay active at home, I can't really go for a run without having to worry about my kids, because my kids are too big for strollers, and then it's also they can't keep up with me in a run. So I can't do that, and then I can't lift as heavy as I'm lifting in the gym at home and do it in a safe way. Like technically I could lift, but I don't have anybody else around to be my spotter, and I don't have anybody else. I guess my daughter knows how to call 911, but I wouldn't have anybody else around if something did happen. So it's not necessarily the smartest idea to do that at home. So my knees got a little sore during this whole quarantine thing, but now since our gym has been open again and I've been able to go in and get that heavy lifting and get that high impact, my knees have actually gotten better. And so that's something to keep in mind too. Although again, if you push yourself too hard, it's going to have that reverse effect and you're going to end up injuring your joints and your bones and things like that. But osteoporosis is something that runs in my family. And even though it is a genetic condition, if I keep this up and I keep working out and staying in shape throughout my whole life, I'm probably not going to have those effects of osteoporosis, even though it is genetic. And so that's just something that is so good and to know for me that I can prevent it. Just because something is a genetic disorder doesn't mean it has to affect you the way it has affected other family members in your family. You can prevent things still, even though it is genetic. You just gotta be active in trying to prevent it. And so if I slow this down whenever I'm in like my 30s or 40s, then I might end up going back to that osteoporosis. And so I gotta make sure I keep this up long term. So it's so important that I am doing something fun and that I love. Now, lastly, what I want to cover, and I think this is going to be perfect to lead into the next video where I do talk about some food and nutrition, is that, and this is why it's so important. Let me get back to my black marker here. It's so important to eat post-workout and to fuel your body the way that it should be fueled. I know so many people who won't eat post-workout, or if they do eat, say they burn like 400 calories during their workout, they will only eat under 400 calories the rest of the day. Do not do that. That is so dangerous. Do not do that. Especially, you need to give your body the fuel it needs to recover, and I'm going to show you how the food works into recovery and how it gets that build, because if you don't recover, you aren't going to be able to have that build. Your body's going to have that same damage as if you didn't have those rest days put in. So you break your muscle fibers, and now you are going to need protein. Protein is what builds and repairs all our cells in our body, our hair, our skin, our nails, our organs, our blood, everything that we have in our body that has a cell has protein, because that's what is used to build and repair your cells. So you're going to build these building blocks. Protein is going to act as the building blocks for this beautiful wall that we're going to create, and isn't it already looking like the most beautiful wall you've ever seen? Now we need carbs, because guess what? Carbs create glycogen, which helps our muscle tissue come together and build up nice and strong. Because without carbs, you can't really build your muscles up, by the way. So we're going to have these nice, beautiful glycogen stores that help be the cement for our wall that we're building. Next, we also need fat, because fat in our body, we have some vitamins that are water soluble and fat soluble. And with that, we need those vitamins that are fat soluble, and those are going to help keep our muscles strong and healthy and lasting long term, and have that nice glossy coat to help keep them nice and happy. So we got that beautiful wall, and now we have that muscle rebuilt and regrowth, and that goes for everything in our body, including our cells. And so you want to make sure you're fueling your body properly, because you have your maintenance level of calorie burn. Again, we're going to talk about this more in the next video, but as long as you're staying under that level, so for mine is 2,500, and so even though I burn like 400 calories at the gym, I don't need to stay under that 400 calorie mark. I need to stay under that 2,500 calorie mark. And then one more thing that I also thought of while I was doing this is that sometimes you can overdo it in cardio, which is why I was saying earlier, you kind of need to pick which direction you want to go into. Cardio can, if you're doing overload of cardio, it can also eat away. Instead of going into your fat stores, it might go into your muscle stores, and it's going to kind of take that away. Not necessarily food, but like pretend that was like the muscle that healed over. It's going to take that away, and so it might end up eating into your muscles. So if you are wanting to build muscles and that's your main goal, then maybe cut back on the cardio a little bit. You can still incorporate it, and you can still have a good workout with cardio, but cardio is not going to necessarily, if you are overdoing cardio, like say you're running 10 miles every day and you're still trying to do weightlifting and gaining that strength with weightlifting, you're probably not going to gain that muscle that you want to gain and get that stronger ability. You know, you might have to pick, like, okay, is muscle building more important to me, or is training for that marathon more important to me? And so whichever one you like. And then even if training for that marathon is more important for you, once that marathon is done with, you can always go back to muscle building. It's just the beauty of how versatile fitness is. And so yes, it would be so cool if we could do both sometimes, but it's not necessarily the case. And so that's how it is. That's why it's so important to just do something that you love, and in turn, your body's gonna show you love back, and it's gonna feel healthy. You're gonna feel strong, and you're gonna feel empowered, and you're gonna be able to meet your goals no matter what you do. So if you like this video and it helped you, and you want to stick around to hear about the nutrition side of things, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and I will see you in that one. And if you liked it, like it, comment down below and let me know what you thought of this, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.